lots of people. So we're going to dig into some of the things he's working on, give you some ideas on how you can do the same. Terrence, welcome back. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Steve. Thank you very much for having me back once again. Always a pleasure to get on and talk about the multitude of things that we can chop it about, man. How are you?
Doing very well, and very interested in one of the many things that you're working on that involves cryptocurrency. So that's a business that you're part of, along with everything else that you're doing. Can we talk about that? Because I like to say I'm a geek and I go kind of deep, but when it comes to crypto, I'm scraping the surface. So I think I speak for a lot of people in wanting to learn more about that.
Okay, good, good. Well, Steve, let me just give you a little background for myself, so you understand the experience side. I have been actually involved in, let me use a terminology, blockchain or blockchain technology. Now, let me define what blockchain technology is.
Yep.
Blockchain technology is all of the technology that cryptocurrency and crypto assets or altcoins run on. Now, just think about this. Um, uh, TVs broadcast over airwaves, right? And radio waves, you hear sound. There has to be some way to control an asset or track an asset. And that starts with the blockchain. Now, what's so great about the blockchain? The blockchain, put simply, Steve, is like a ledger or a bank ledger. Or when you go to the bank and you look at your bank statement, they have transaction records of your deposits and or withdrawals. Now, the blockchain is just a public ledger that shows transactions of cryptocurrency assets and altcoins. So let's talk about what the benefit of that is. If I were to send you some cryptocurrency, now the most famous cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. Most people have heard of Bitcoin. The reason it's the most famous is because it was the first. I believe it was created in about 2008. Now, let's talk about what is cryptocurrency. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is essentially a digital currency or a digital dollar. So that means that there's no physical gold, no physical Bitcoin, no physical asset. It's only created in the digital space. Are you with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, just let's talk about reality of today. When you look in your bank account, Steve, and it says you have hopefully millions of dollars in there, right? Um,
Well, I might be reading that wrong. Maybe you're seeing something I'm not. But go ahead.
well, but the reality is, whether there's a dollar or there's $1 million in your bank account, Steve, you don't have that dollar in your hand. And quite honestly, that dollar may or may not even be in your bank account. It's just a digital representation of your ownership of that asset, which happens to be a dollar or a US dollar. Now, I'll tell you, Steve, if you lost your debit card and the bank closes at 5 o'clock, you would not be able to go retrieve your dollar from the bank. Would you agree?
Say that one more time. I want to make sure I have it clear.
Okay, say you were to lose your debit card and you don't have checks and the bank is closed, your banks, your traditional bank where you bank at, you are not able to have access to your money. You would have to wait until they opened up the next morning to go make a withdrawal, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the dollars that you see when you open your banking app and says you have X amount of dollars, that those are digital dollars. Now, let's talk about the US dollar. The US dollar has a value. Now, how does the US dollar have a value?
The U.S. dollar has a value because it's backed up by the government.
Okay. Now, it used to be backed by gold. I don't personally believe there's gold reserves anymore, but that's not the purpose of this conversation today. But the US dollar has a value attached to it, and that value that's attached to it is attached by what the people say. So if the dollar can buy a gallon of gas, the dollar can buy a gallon of gas. If it's $4 for a gallon of gas, it's $4 for a gallon of gas. So the dollar's value is always attached to what the world says is worth. Now, that's why we have the huge problem with inflation, because the dollar buys less than what it used to buy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's kind of the way of the world.
Yes, yes. Everything has value. So just think about the housing market, right? The housing market was on a boom, right? And so houses were going, and real estate was going for more than what it normally goes for. Now, do you know why it was? It was supply and demand, and the market said that houses are worth more. The market said it was worth more. If you've tried to buy a car since COVID, the car market is up. So that same used car cost you 30% more than it used to cost. Now, the reason why is because the market said so. Okay. And so
Yeah.
the value of everything in the whole complete entire world is set to what the market says is worth. And so if I were to, let's say, create a car, and let me say I wanted to compete with Tesla, okay? And this new car I make, I call it the Terrence Pounds hemp car. And I say each model starts at $1 million. Now, just because I set the mark at $1 million does not mean that anybody will ever buy it. But what a person would buy it at, or multiple people would buy it at, is what truly gives it its value. Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay.
And to your point with the car situation, it's also supply and demand. There was a problem supplying because of the chips that go in some of the cars were in short order, but the demand was still there, so therefore the price went up.
Yes, exactly. And so, so what cryptocurrency is, it was started, Bitcoin itself, the very first cryptocurrency, was started by somebody named Nakashimoto. Now, it's a Japanese name. They think that it's a multitude of different names, all the collaborators put together, but the person's anonymous. And he created a computer, basically a computer dollar, essentially, called a Bitcoin, that only existed in cyberspace. He created so many of them, and then there was a community of people that began to use Bitcoin as a store of value. And so they said, okay, there's millions of Bitcoins, but we say our millions of Bitcoins are worth 8 cents each. 8 cents. And then so they would have came out and said 13 years ago, Steve, like, hey, Steve, you want to buy some Bitcoin? And you'd be like, what are Bitcoin? And you'd be like, well, it's this digital currency that's going to take over the world in like 10, 15 years. You want to buy some? And you'd be like, well, what value does it have now? And they say, well, they're only 8 cents. It's an investment. If you just buy some now, they'll be worth more later. You can trade them with other people if you want, just people that will accept them. And the value is based on the same thing as everything else in life. What is the next person willing to buy it for? And what is the person willing to sell it for? So now back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, when it started, they had, I believe, 42 million Bitcoins. Now, they're not all in population right now. They release so many of them annually, but the supply will come to an end. So there's not an infinite amount of Bitcoin. There's only so many to be had, right? And they used to be 8 cents per Bitcoin. I believe earlier today they were trading for $24,000 per Bitcoin. Now, Steve, you're probably wondering, why is this thing $24,000 that was 8 cents? And I don't even have an actual physical piece of it. And it's just because that's what the market says it's worth. And now, Bitcoin does have some applications. It is a great store of value. There's only so many of them. It was the first mover. They're always going to probably be around. But in the same token, there's thousands now, literally thousands of now other cryptocurrencies and altcoins or digital assets. Okay. Now let's back up to the blockchain. The blockchain is the public ledger that all of these cryptocurrency transactions happen upon. Now, what does that mean? In your bank account, you have a transaction statement, what goes in, what comes out. It's the same way on the blockchain, but it's public. And so if I were to send you Bitcoin, it's recorded on the blockchain on this public ledger. Now, the reason that it's recorded on the public ledger is so that all of the processors of the payments, when you send from you to me, those processors can see the payment. And then on the blockchain, that information stays forever and it's immutable. So you cannot change it. So it's transparent. And so every transaction, they have what is a group of people called miners. And all they do are verifying the transaction. They're verifying that, hey, Terrence sent Steve 1 Bitcoin today. They verify that transaction. They stamp their approval on it. It's done by multiple people on these computers all across the world. And then that transaction's final once enough people sign off on it. Then it's permanent and part of the blockchain ledger. Hope that made kind of sense.
I'm getting it, and I do get very clear. You really do a great job of keeping it clear, when it comes to that kind of stuff. So questions.
Yes.
Can you put cryptocurrency in your quote-unquote wallet like a bank account and leave it there? And I know the answer to that, but my follow-up question is, are you paying taxes on that?
Okay. So first question is they have specifically designed cryptocurrency wallets. And so you're probably familiar with Cash App, right? Everybody's using Cash App now. Mm-hmm. Cash App has a cryptocurrency wallet on it. And so you can upgrade your Cash App account, send them over your ID and documentation. And not only will you be able to buy Bitcoin on Cash App, you're able to actually buy it, hold it in a cryptocurrency wallet, and send it all around the world to anybody you want to send it to, or buy things with it. You physically own it through even just a Cash App. But the most major one most people use is called Coinbase, Coinbase. They are U.S. Federally insured. Your deposits are safe for up to like $250,000. You can buy all different types of assets besides just Bitcoin. And you can store it there safely, privately, and, sell it, trade it, send it off, whatever you want to do. And there's not only just Coinbase, there's literally thousands of different cryptocurrency exchanges.
Wow. So if you wanted to keep money aside in cryptocurrency and just keep it in a bank account without paying, I'm assuming you wouldn't get interest on it, or are there some crypto where you would?
Yep. So any of the federally registered cryptocurrency exchanges, they do send you at the end of the year, just as if you were into like a Charles Schwab or a New York Life investment account, they do send you 1099Bs and 1099Ds, which shows whatever happened over the course of that tax year. And then so you just take that form and you file it with your taxes. Any tax person would know exactly what to do with it. But it prints out at the end of the year, just like all your other tax forms. Now, if you make gains, then you would be responsible for gains if you made corporate gains, just like stocks and bonds. And if you lost, which you're not guaranteed to win in cryptocurrency. It's an investment just like anything else. Then that helps you on your taxes because that would be less of a tax burden due to your losses.
Is there anywhere, Terrence, where you can keep money without any tax implications?
So there is a cryptocurrency space called DeFi, DEFI. It's brand new. It's unregulated once you get into DeFi space. And crypto as a whole is unregulated. Some of it's centralized, but it's not really regulated. But once you get into the DeFi space that is completely unregulated, you are open to tons of scams and tons of wolves. Not that there's not good programs in the DeFi space, but it's scary out there, just to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, in other words, you want to stay in a place that is regulated and sanctioned. Yeah, it's your money. You
It's
don't
your
want to take a chance at it.
it's your money, and there's enough cryptocurrency money where you don't have to sneak and try to hide it. I mean, there's guys on Wall Street trading millions of dollars in stocks every day and trading multiple trades. It's not like you have to sit down as a tax profession. I mean, as a tax person and figure all this stuff out. You just hand over the packet at the end of the year like you do your W-2 or 1099. Your accountant or tax provider punches the information, and it's so simple. I do it myself, so.
Wow. Well, yeah, we're getting questions on this, and we're talking with Terrence Pounds, who he's basically a serial entrepreneur, lots of different successful businesses. We're talking about cryptocurrency right now. I want to give your website, at least the CBD website, which is hemp4real.com. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, Terrence, and had a question outside of this broadcast, how would they find you? Would they do it through hemp4real.com?
So they have like crypto based questions and things of that nature. I can give them my trading website, and they can reach out to me through my trading website. It's Believers in Business, so BELIVERSINBUSINESS dot Nova NOVA Tech TECHFX.com. And so if you go to believersinbusiness.novatechfx.com, you can email me and or sign up for some of our investment strategies that we use. I am a professional trader. I have been trading cryptocurrency, stocks, bonds, options for years. And even if they wanted to reach me directly, Steve, they can call me directly. I am also a financial advisor, and my number on my business cards is 419-276-0906. Once again, that number is 419-276-0906. And if they want to get an email directly to me, the easiest way to get an email directly to me is CBD, the number 4, real, REAL, at gmail.com. So CBD, the number 4, real, at gmail.com. I get all of those emails still directly to me. So 3 different ways to catch me there.
Appreciate it. And we're going to take a short break. If you have an instant question right now, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. We're talking cryptocurrency, Bert. Coming right back. Hang on. And we are talking about getting started with cryptocurrency. Terrence Towns is with us today. He's a serial entrepreneur, and we're getting questions. So we have Jake in Rhode Island checking in, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. And he says, what are typical transaction fees for cryptocurrency?
Well, it depends on the exchange that you use, and things like Robinhood, which I don't suggest Robinhood if you want to move the money from off of Robinhood, although you can buy it there. Cash App is free, Robinhood is free. Now, what they do is they charge you a very small percentage, which is called arbitrage, which is the difference in the price that is listed on their exchange and the difference in the price listed on other exchanges. And so what they essentially do is they look for that small gap in price, and then they make that extra percentage points on the free, quote unquote, free exchanges. The most popular is Coinbase, and they charge roughly 3 to 4% for everything that you buy cryptocurrency. So if you spend $1,000, they're going to take 30 or 40 bucks. But Coinbase now has this Coinbase One function where you're on a monthly subscription for only $29.99 per month, and you can buy and trade as much as you want. So there's no fees, but you just pay the one flat rate of $29.99 a month. And you just think if you buy $1,000 worth of cryptocurrency or trade $1,000 worth of more cryptocurrency a month, that subscription for $29.99 a month is well worth it on Coinbase. It's what I personally use.
Wow. Okay. So with that, you pay that subscription fee, and then you pay per transaction.
Nope.
On the transaction.
Nope. If you pay the $29.99 a month, then there's no other fees associated.
Wow. Boy, that sounds like to a newbie like me, that sounds like a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything to watch out for? If you hook up with a company like that?
Well, Coinbase is great. They're probably the most solid founded. They have the most money, been in the market the longest, U.S. based part of their organization. But there's risk in any space. But Coinbase is good, and they insure people's money. So for the U.S., most people use Coinbase. The functionality is very easy. I also use another one called KuCoin, which is KuCoin. I've been using them ever since I've been in crypto for many, many years. It's not quite as easy to use. It's not as user friendly as Coinbase is, but it has more assets to choose from. Coinbase is limited in the amount of assets that you can pick from, but KuCoin has a multitude of assets, literally thousands. And then there's places like Binance, but just depending on what country you're in, you may need to use, a VPN for crypto trading exchanges. But Coinbase and KuCoin are the two that I use.
So and we don't have to go into detail, and I know it's personal, but what would you say your activities have been like in the last couple of weeks with cryptocurrency? Have you been actively trading? Are you always looking? What's your main motivation, Terrence?
Well, I got into cryptocurrency in 2014, 2015, and I had a part of the early run where it shot from up to 20,000 years ago. And I had bought in at 13,000, and I lost money. I literally lost probably about $8,000. I had a sour taste for cryptocurrency. And then in 2018, I started trading options, stock options. And I made my 8,000 back that I had lost in cryptocurrency by trading stock options. And then I decided that I would start investing in cryptocurrency again. So I've been back investing in cryptocurrency for 4 years. I've rode the waves up and down. But you said most recently, the cryptocurrency market took a hit. So it's down about 70% of what it was last year around this time. And so just to put that in perspective, one Bitcoin was about 60,000 last year at this time. That same Bitcoin is worth only 24,000 right now. Now, it was even lower. Now, my favorite cryptocurrency to use is Ethereum or Ether. It was the second cryptocurrency, and I use Ether. One Ether coin is trading right now about 2,000 per Ether coin. But I bought roughly 10 Ether coins 2 months ago. And when I bought them 2 months ago, they were at not an all time, a yearly low. And that yearly low, they were worth 1,000. So I bought 10 of them. And 45 days later, I had 20,000 there. so, so I've had a very good last 60 to 90 days in cryptocurrency. Last year, I only made, and I'm going to say only, I made $6,000 trading cryptocurrency. Now, that's not a lot, but it's $500 a month that I did from my phone in my spare time. $500 a month.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
that's cryptocurrency. Now, trading options, I made $130,000 last year trading stock options from my phone. No employees, no customers, only business hours, no weekends, no evenings, 130,000 trading from my phone last year.
Wow. We're just about out of time, but Terrence, we got to talk some more.
Okay.
Fascinating, and thank you for the info. And I got to tell you, I mean, you're an amazing guy with everything that you're working on. Hempforreal.com and the ministry. I had no idea that you go layers deeper as a serial entrepreneur. I find that fascinating, and thanks for the info today. It's like kind of our primer for cryptocurrency. Would love to talk more next time we get together, if that's possible.
Yeah. Let's continue on. I'd like to tell you about the investment opportunities I have going on and, those different things. And if they want to get involved, great. It's not a financial advice, but there's a lot of ways to make money out here and not have to punch a clock to get it.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be learned. And once you break it down like you do and make it simple, it looks very attainable. Terrence, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, bless you, Steve. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Alrighty. Believers in business. Novatech, Novatech, F is in Frank, X is in X is in xylophone.com. Believers in business.novatechfx.com. Link will be in the comments. Peace.